Growing up in India, I was told I could be whatever I want to be, as long as it is one of the two things. Could be an engineer or it could be a physician. I chose to be a physician, and that launched my career in medicine. 10 years into my career, I find myself in New York City, in the middle of Manhattan, being a resident physician at NYU. At NYU Hospital, I loved almost everything I was doing, but one thing that kept coming up over and over again, the patient care seemed to revolve around one metric, and that one metric was length of stay. What mattered most, if they have stayed their duration at the hospital. Length of stay was all consuming, the number one priority, and everything else seemed to be secondary. Patients are not happy, but we have to send them home. If they have to go home, they have to go home. It didn't really matter whether they were ready, the duration of treatment was meant, they had to go home. And I didn't want to be part of that. I didn't want to practice medicine like this. I didn't want to spend next several decades of my life doing something that is so focused on external factors. I came to be a physician to take care of patients. I don't know what to do. I also don't have another career. I have spent my decade-long life being a physician. That's the only thing I know how to do. While I'm in my training, I am in my rotation taking care of patients in intensive care unit. At ICU, I find one of my patients, let's call him Bob. Bob is veteran. He's a World War II veteran who won Purple Heart. As I get to know more about Bob, Bob is a fighter pilot. Bob flew on D-Day. He's my patient. And I ask myself every day, taking care of him, sitting alone in the night, should I one day ask Bob, how did he do it? Could I ask him, how did he do it? It must be an act of valor to be able to fly those planes knowing only well that you will never come back. But I'm hesitant. I don't want to ask him. It's too personal. I'm his doctor. I'm supposed to take care of his medical problem. It's none of my business. One day, I decided that I'm going to have courage. I find Bob in good mood, and I ask him this question that has been weighing on my mind for several days. Bob, what gave you the courage to fly those planes, knowing fully well that you may never come back? Bob takes a deep breath, has a long pause, and then answers me back, Doctor, courage had nothing to do with it. I knew this is what I was meant to do. I didn't ask myself whether will I come back or not. I just knew I had to fly that plane. That day, that interaction changed my life. I realized that instead of searching for courage, instead of searching for inspiration, maybe the best thing I can do is to take action. Taking a small action, starting that day onward, helped me to move my career from being a physician to being an analyst on Wall Street, to be a person who works at a biotech company. I work for Genentech, moved to Bay Area. And that then led me to start my companies. UNICYCIVE is my third startup. But today, when we face challenges and problems, I try not to worry too much about looking for courage or inspiration, but actually just focus on taking one action. Taking small actions, one day at a time, has helped us to be where we are today. And that has been my guiding principle forever. I think about Bob, I think about things that I could do, and it has changed my life.